All right.
I don't know what he said, but it was him, wasn't me. And you're on video. It's going to be on the site. All right. Shh. No names. Yeah, it's your bad. So, what we have here is we had a line segment like this, and it basically told us using our tools, create a perpendicular bisector. And then it said, trace it. What did the trace paper allow us to see? How? It allowed us to see what's congruent. Your middle line segment. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's congruent? Oh God. Okay. From distance from each point, I like that a whole lot better. Now, all you can see on mine is this. So I'm going to perform the perpendicular bisector's construction. Okay. Does it give you instructions on how to do it, or does it say just do it? Just do it? Okay. So, somebody tell me, I looked over right here and I saw measurement. What is the measurement of y'all's line?
I got 4.2 centimeters for line.
4.2 centimeters. Now mine won't be drawn as accurate to that because I just drew the line straight, because I'm going to do it here in just a minute, because the length of my line doesn't matter. I'm going to find the perpendicular bisector to this line right here. Okay, so we got 4.2 centimeters. Anybody else have the same measurement? 1, 2. Anybody else have a different measurement? Oh, so I assume everybody else did measurement and cut it in half. 1.3 what?
4.3 centimeters.
4.3. So now, here is my issue. Here is my issue with us measuring. We have people with different lengths. That doesn't mean that yours isn't right. That doesn't mean your performance of the perpendicular bisector isn't right. But when we talk about measurements, 1, we got different units. 2, we got different interpretations to where that comes out on a line or not a line. 3, we might have different rulers. Might be beat to death, hit on the side of the desk, and you can't see a lot of it. So we got some issues when it comes to measurements. But the concept of using measurements is okay. It means I took it, and what did you do with the measurement of the length of the line? Split it in half. And so therefore, what could you place on here? What was the thing that I could place on here? We call it something. A point. What is a point that I place in the middle of a line? Midpoint. So it asked me to give the midpoint. So if I did, and let's just say, and I'm going to do it in pencil so we can talk. Let's just say it's right there. I did my measurements and I got it. What did you do to get the perpendicular bisector? You drew a vertical line up and down there. So what I would like for you to do, if you drew a vertical line, is it exactly 90?
If the line is horizontal and you draw a vertical line, then it is 90. If it's not horizontal, then it's not.
So here's my question. How many points did I put on the paper? 1. I just put 1. How many lines can I draw through that point? A lot, right? Let me borrow your ruler a second. So I'm going to show you this. Yeah, we all want to do this. Oh, I put it right there, and I'm good. Problem is, what if I'm a little tilted in different directions? Just a little bit, and I'm now 91 degrees and 89 degrees on the other side. Is it a perpendicular bisector then? So my question to you is, what signifies a straight line? It's 180 degrees, but that right there is still 180 degrees. It's straight. It creates a right angle. So did you use another tool to measure right angle? Did you, or now are you?
I did.
You did? Okay, so we would use a tool we haven't even discussed called a protractor. Right? We haven't even discussed it. And so here's my question. Here's my question. What signifies a line? What allows me to create a straight line that has to go in a specific direction, that has to be specifically 90? What allows me to do that? Anybody know? No? How many points do I need? 1 point can signify the direction of that line? Okay, so what if I wanted to draw that? There's 1 point.
I didn't know what you were asking.
That's okay. I need to be better in my questioning. So is that 90 degrees?
No.
Is it through the point?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So what's going to allow it to go that way? I can have another point up above it. Another point below it would be fine, or one above it and one below it that passes through it. So as long as I got two, I can draw a specific line in a specific direction, right? So is measuring the line, cutting it in half, putting the midpoint, and drawing the line the most accurate way of drawing a perpendicular bisector?
No.
Because it does fulfill one piece of it. Perpendicular bisector's got two pieces. It breaks the line in two congruent parts, but then it also has to create a 90-degree angle. And in this case, 4 90-degree angles. All right, and so I'm not saying you're wrong because you actually used the patty paper, you folded it, and you compared it to be able to get it. Congratulations on being able to draw that straight line. That's great for you. You want to use a protractor and draw it? That's great for you. It didn't tell you specifically what tools to do so. Okay, but yesterday we had an activity that said place 5 dots on your paper that are CD length away from A. Correct? All right. And then we did it from B. And then we asked, were there any that were the same distance? And now we can refer to that as equidistant. Are there any that were the same distance away from both? Did we come up with that? Where did it lie? Where did the point that was equidistant away, where did it lie? Intersection of what? Intersection of the circles. So I don't have any circles right now. I'm going to draw. Let me see that accomplished right there. All right, so if I'm going to draw a circle that I can place any point up and down the circle that's going to be the exact same distance away from P, then I'm going to pick it right there, and I'm going to put my measurement on it. Right there. And so, there's that one. So if I place any point on here, you agree that that point is the length PQ away from P. Okay? You agree with that, right? All right. And so if I wanted one that was going to be exactly the same distance over here, that is going to be the exact same distance away from Q, would you agree that every point on there is exactly PQ distance away from Q? And why is that true? What did we just create? We created 2 half circles, but what do we call that piece that I'm drawing? Say it again. Radius. I drew a radius right there. And so that distance right there, I'll draw it lightly, is the radius of the circle P. What about that one? What is that one? Radius. So this one is the radius of circle P. This one is the radius of circle Q. And where can I find some points that are the same distance away from P as they are Q? Where they intersect. Right there and right there. Don't believe me? Let's look. There and there. You agree? How many points do I have now? You have 3. I erased the middle one because I didn't guess anymore. And so that right there creates direction. And what is exactly in the middle? Midpoint. So this right here is the midpoint. Do you agree?
Yes.
So since I know that, then I'm going to start showing you some terminology. I can classify that one congruent to that one with the little tick mark, so you don't have to tell me in a sentence. Now, what do I know about the line? What did it do to that line? It not only cut it in half, What did it create? What did it create right here? Perpendicular, and perpendicular means what degree measure? 90. Okay? And so, what I want you to get at, you're not wrong for measuring it, dividing it, putting a mark, and drawing it, because you use the patty paper to fold it over, correct? And you say, well, I'm right, so why have I got to pay attention to this? Because by the definition of a line must equal 2 points. I must have 2 specific points in 2 specific directions to go in the exact direction I need it to. Because some of you might be at 91 degrees and then 81 or 80 degrees on the other side, 89 degrees on the other side. Okay? Any questions on that? All right. So, another question that I want to add to this. What would I know about any point on that line? What about a point right here, point right here, point right there, and a point right there? What do I know about it?
They all have an equal distance from points P and Q.
Very good. You see that? They still are the same equal distance away from P and Q. Any questions? Solid.